What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report. So we have some news out today. First off, I want to address seniors and parents. This is going to be a little bit of a discussion on what we are going to see moving forward, what lawmakers are expecting, what experts are anticipating we will see, all right? So this is going to be regarding seniors and parents. First, I will address the debt ceiling in a minute. We will talk about the upcoming stimulus package, the size of that, what's potentially going to be cut out. Then I'm going to give you some daily news regarding a possibly pretty big mandate coming very soon for a major city. So let's get into the update for today. First, lately there's been two big issues, okay? Two big issues. There's two groups of people that are currently facing these issues. One is going to be seniors, the other one is parents. First, parents are extremely worried that the child tax credit payments will not get extended. We've already seen that right now, the amount of money going out to parents is helping out their children greatly. This is pulling children out of poverty. This is doing a lot of really good things. However, if it stops, what happens? We don't know. But experts are anticipating if we go backwards, all those children that were pulled out of poverty will go right back in. It hasn't been enough time for parents to change their way of thinking, for parents to understand finances, any type of financial literacy. It's too soon. So most expect every single child that was pulled out of poverty would go right back in. So that's not what we want to see. We also know that seniors are extremely worried that the cost of living adjustment won't do much, and they're requesting more assistance. I'm on board with that. I think that is needed. For parents, the child tax credit payments have been a very good opportunity for them to help out, to give to their children. But it's because of the increased income. It's not because it's giving them more time. It's not because they're changing as a parent. It's simply the fact that they have more income and they can use it. Many people say that right now, the child tax credit payments are going to be included into the next bill. However, it may not be for 4 more years, and that's fine. If it's for 1 or 2 more years, that's acceptable because it would be easier to extend it than to try to put it in a couple years. So as long as it gets in for at least 1 or 2 years, it would be very easy to extend. And this is something that lawmakers say is needed at this time. This is something that what we do know is this will be negotiated. This will be in the human infrastructure bill. However, how long it goes for, we don't know. But keep in mind, this bill must pass in order to see any additional child tax credit payments. Because come January 1st, there will be no payments coming out. There will be nothing until you file your 2021 federal income tax. So just keep that in mind. For seniors, currently the cost of living adjustment is expected to be about 6 to 6.1%. This is a pretty decent sized jump. This is a very good jump compared to what we saw last year. However, the cost of Medicare Part B, which is currently about $148.50 per month, this is in 2021. The problem is Medicare keeps on increasing in price. So when we see the prices of Medicare increase, that's not great, being that the cost of living adjustment increased as well. If the cost of living adjustment increased and Medicare actually got cheaper, that would be a good thing. However, that's not the case. So what you need to understand is that right now, even though the cost of living adjustment is going to go up, the problem is prices of products are going up as well. Services are going up. Medicare is going to go up, right? We know this. So it's because of this that many seniors worry that the cost of living adjustment is not enough and they need more assistance. Well, let's talk about what President Biden promised. President Biden promised, and this is something I get asked all the time in the community, in the comments. And a lot of people ask, why do I spend so much time talking about the child tax credits as opposed to social security benefits? Here's the reason why. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody is really talking about social security benefits and the recipients. Nobody. That's what's so frustrating. Not that I don't want to talk about it. I would absolutely talk about it. But there's no lawmakers proposing new bills. There's nobody really pushing for anything else other than Senator Bernie Sanders and some that are pushing to expand Medicare. That's the big one. Right now we know lawmakers, they've discussed adding dental, vision, and hearing into the next bill. The problem is, and they've even addressed a $1,000 stimulus debit card to go to seniors as well in order to help pay for things like dental, vision, and hearing. But again, the problem here is that right now, hearing is most likely going to be removed. It's just going to be dental and vision. That's what we're hearing. So if this means just dental and vision, chances are that $1,000 stimulus check is not going to happen. It's going to be much smaller. We don't know how much, or excuse me, not $1,000 stimulus check. It's supposed to be a $1,000 stimulus debit card. Okay, we don't know how much that's going to be if hearing gets pulled out. We don't think it's going to be pretty much a 33% split, but it could be. And if that's the case, you get about $666. Now, chances are it's going to be about $600. Just give you an idea. That's what was being discussed. It was about a $600 stimulus debit card first, and then it got increased to $1,000. So just understand, it may get shrunk down a little bit there. We know President Biden, he's promised a $200 boost to Social Security recipients. This was during his campaigning. However, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Reports indicate that providing Social Security recipients with a larger than expected benefit would actually drain the fund much sooner than expected. And because of this, the Biden administration doesn't even want to mess with this, because right now he doesn't want to touch something that's currently working, which makes sense. Don't mess up something, even though the Social Security program could be much better. Don't mess with something that's currently working. That's the problem. We could see additional delays in payments, right? We could see other things happen as well. And right now, that's the issue, is nobody wants to mess with something that's currently working. And it's an adequate program. It's not great. Could definitely use an overhaul, but they don't want to touch it because it's currently working. That's what we're hearing. But speaking of messing stuff up and trying to make something better, let's address the debt ceiling for a second and what President Biden is saying right now. President Biden said last night that blowing up the filibuster for a one-time vote is a real possibility. He says that even though Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, they are somewhat opposed to changing the filibuster at this time, it's not something that they want to do. However, if it comes to the sake of the debt ceiling and making sure that the United States can pay their debts, they're open to it, according to multiple experts. They also are in favor of raising the debt ceiling, and they want to do it before the October 18th deadline. They do not want to wait till the last minute. So President Biden said there's other options on the table, but one of the other options is the reconciliation. President Biden added, there's not much time left to do it by reconciliation. So the expectation is right now that pretty much any reconciliation talks for the debt ceiling are completely off the table. But from what we are hearing, in order to prevent an economic catastrophe, there could be a one-time exception made in the Senate to change the filibuster for this one vote. Now, the only issue here is that this opens up the door for potentially using this in a different way to prevent a catastrophe. Well, some are asking, what would actually constitute as a catastrophe? Does it have to be an economic catastrophe? Could immigration be included into a vote like this? Could gun reform? Could police reform? Could we see the minimum wage increase because of this? Right? We don't know. We do not know, but that's what's currently expected. Is okay, if we do this one-time exception, is it really a one-time exception? In most cases, no. There will be more times that this is used because, well, now we know we can. So that's the problem now, is are we going to see this? Chances are we will see this multiple times. Right now, the talks of a human infrastructure bill are still happening. They're still ongoing. But the key right now is this is kind of taking a back seat because the debt ceiling is more pressing. That's something that has to be done in the next 12 days. Next 12 days. And again, October 18th, that is the official X date, but it's give or take about 2 days. So we'll see what happens there. But here's what we know regarding the stimulus package. Right now, they say the numbers are going to be anywhere between 1.9 and 2.5 trillion dollars. And here's what you need to understand. 1.9 to 2.2, that was from President Biden. He said that's most likely where the bill is going to be. Now, I think he's probably read in on where the discussions are going. He's obviously part of it. But progressives say they're anywhere from 2.5 to $3 trillion. Okay. So the expectation right now is that $2 trillion is most likely the bottom number. It's most likely the bottom. The high is most likely going to be about $2.3 trillion. So it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to be less than what the middle of the two bills were going to be, 1.5 to 3.5. Middle would be 2.5. The expectation was it has to be a little bit less than that, or moderates would not jump on board, but we will see. This also means that parts of the Build Back Better Act from President Biden, they won't be included. Free community college is most likely scrapped. It's probably not going to happen. Immigration reform is not going to happen. And this isn't just because of President Biden. This is actually, or the size of the bill, this is actually coming from the Senate parliamentarian. But according to multiple reports, the immigration reform bill would have been pulled if the size of the bill had been dropped from 3.5 down to 2.2 or 2.3 trillion dollars anyway. So it's not going to happen there. So there's two. The child tax credit payments will most likely be extended. We just don't know for how long. Affordable childcare will most likely be included as well. We're going to see, childcare, elder care. Here's the issue. Right now, according to all reports, affordable housing, that is most likely scrapped. That most likely will not be included. Number one, because it can get very expensive. Number two, it's going to take too long to actually put into motion. Right now, if we have a shortage of building materials, well, how do you create more affordable housing if you cannot build any new housing? Well, that creates an issue. Now, you can actually change some of the laws. You can change some of the rules so that affordable housing. Let's say you have a very good sized home and you want to split it into two. Well, if the laws say that you cannot do that, you can go and change the laws. Because if you have let's say a 3,000 square foot home and you want to split it up into two, let's say it's two different stories, right? And you have an entrance to both. You put kitchens in both. Then great news is you could have a duplex. Well, you could actually rent to two different families. Well, if you're just currently renting to one, and for chances are it's not going to be affordable housing if it's a 3,000 square foot home, right? 2-story living, probably not affordable. But if you split it into two, it could be a little more affordable. That could be an option as well. So right now they're thinking maybe just change the laws and not actually put any additional money or funds into this program. That's kind of what we're seeing at this time. So if you were expecting more affordable housing, chances are it's not going to happen and things will actually get a little bit more expensive. So not great news for many. But let's get into the COVID news for today, okay? Because some of this is good news, but there's also some bad news. First, the United States reported 98,506 COVID cases yesterday alone. We now have a 7-day rolling average of 101,668 people. This, according to some, they're saying this could be the tail end of the surge. And we are seeing that it spiked up and now it's actually starting to come down. This is really good news. Experts predict this could be the final stage final surge here in the U.S., which would be great. They also believe enough people have been vaccinated that we won't see a huge outbreak again. However, they say that COVID will continue if we can't reach herd immunity, which if you go by Dr. Anthony Fauci, he was saying we need to be above 80%. But now some are saying between 85 to 90% is what we need to be at in order to reach herd immunity. And some say that is not even possible based on how many vaccine holdouts we have. So we'll see what happens there. We're also starting to see some new research. This research now shows that COVID patients sometimes come down with symptoms of diabetes. And now scientists are wondering if COVID could trigger diabetes. And according to the study, they say that their findings suggest that COVID could prompt the pancreas to self-destruct. Yes, this isn't a joke. They say that COVID could be harming vital cells in the pancreas, which would leave people with diabetes. That's not good news. That is not good news. That's not the COVID shot either. That is people that actually come down with the virus, test positive. Those are the ones seeing this, not the vaccine. The vaccine, there's nothing that shows that the vaccine is targeting people's liver either. So we'll see what happens, or the pancreas. So we'll see what happens there. But as we get more reports, that just came out this morning, so I just want to fill you in on that. Again, I try to give you the good news and the bad news. Here's something else. In Los Angeles, we are now, according to reports, they're considering one of the most strict vaccine mandates in the entire country. Los Angeles leaders are considering a sweeping measure that would actually require vaccines for everybody who enters a bar, goes into a nail salon, walks into a gym, to either work out or whatever, going into a museum, a theater, or even going to a Lakers game. You will have to have a vaccine in order to do that. It's not just a vaccine or a negative test from the last 72 hours. It would be required you have a vaccine. So, even though this would be the most strict mandate that we have seen, many experts anticipate that if Los Angeles is able to do this, many more states and cities are going to mandate something like this very soon. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know which cities or states might start to do this, but what I do know is when California, when they do anything, other states take notice. I live in Washington State, and in Washington State, that's one of the things we do, is when California does something, okay, well, let's be on the lookout because our governor's probably going to follow suit very soon. We've seen it happen multiple times. Chances are it's going to happen again. So I don't know if like Seattle, Washington would do something like this. I doubt it, but it could happen. It honestly could happen. So we'll see what happens there. But as I know more, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next.